What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Drementfh, and welcome to Thorium Gaming, and we're back with Nightly Valor, our attempts to bring the light of the Lady of the Lake to the entirety of the old world. And we have a lot going on this week. But first off, a quick note, I'm going to be gone for Thursday, well, starting Wednesday, and yeah, we're going to be missing out on a couple of videos this week. Can't be helped. As much as I'd love to put as much of my effort into the channel as I can, I gotta pay the bills too, so yeah, I'm gonna be on the road with my rigger family, and should be good times. It's a Broadway show and a country show, so we'll see how it works out. Anyway, before we get into things, we have an unassigned skill point for SAR PC. Might as well finish off his hit points. He's only level 17, so we can't get immortality yet. Be really nice to, but can't really do anything there. And Lady Janice, get her earthing, prevent miscast chances. Now, over on the Elven Isle, we kind of ran into problems, because Malekith himself, along with some severely large units, and his little henchwoman, came out to strike at Lord Adadon. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull Lord Adadon back, away from the Druki, so they can't engage him. And then we'll probably sail off to the coast of Negorond. Well, what Negorond has. We can't really see everything that's going on the island, but definitely something that's worth noting. And then our random hero that's going to keep trying to assassinate in the forest, if he can. So we'll probably just skip him this turn. And we could upgrade Quinnell, but we don't need to right now. Now Grimaldus and Phoenix are headed down towards Bibali to take on Tilea, and yeah, it's just a generally good idea to go off and start some stuff with them. Let's take a look at what we've got for our research. That's the word I'm looking for. So we get Master Swordsmiths or bigger bobbins. I think we're going to go with bobbins because we're starting to invest in a lot of industry. So if we get that in 4 turns, that'll help us out, and we'll do that to Quinnell just to make things a little bit more even. And Lord Muffin we are sending back up to Corone to reinforce and get everything going. So, don't know exactly what we're going to do with him just yet, but it looks like there's a Norse invasion coming, so him heading back up to Corone is definitely going to help. Figures that the Norse only attack us when it's convenient for them, never convenient for us. And Ferris has the ability to grab something. We could grab a weaving house, but it's not really worth it right now because Lord Yogi, our new hero, and guy I'm going to see on the weekend here, he hasn't got an army stack for him yet. We could get him some infantry, but he's kind of just sitting and chilling right now. I mean, we could get him to go out and search the remnants of battle and wait, and subsequently get a little bit of cash that way. It's kind of a tough call. I think we'll just leave him for now. And then down in the south, that's a little too far south, we did give up our holdings against the orcs. We're going to bring Lord Eddie back towards Iron Rock, just in case there's any rebellions or anything up here. We can deal with them that way, and kind of ignore them. We can't be so aggressive with our army stacks right now, but we do need to conquer some territory, so going to war with Tilea is going to be a big thing. We can probably take Bali and Magritta, but we don't know what they've got down here. And politically, they have a trade agreement with the Empire, and they're at war with the Orcs. So, when we get our 2 generals down into range, we can strike Bibali and put Tilea on basically a bad place, because they got the dwarves here, and if they do attack the dwarven holdings in the south, we can just go in and take them out. claiming a lot of land in the process. Of course, we are at peace, temporarily at least, with the Wood Elves. So, we'll see how it works out. I'd love to get the king involved in some of the fighting, but we don't know what the Wood Elves are going to do. I mean, our relations with them are improving, but we may only get the 10 turns of a peace treaty, so we're just going to let the other nations go and see what they do. And we're bringing Furix back up too. Had some fun with the orcs, but his job's pretty much done at this point for down there. If we focus on taking out Tilea and some of their holdings, we can push a little bit more aggressively, build up some bobbin factories like weaving mills and all that sort of stuff, and really go after it. While we watch the great and powerful Empire do its thing. I mean, they're definitely the strongest right now, and it's still amazing to me that we haven't seen the Chaos Invasion yet. Unless I've missed it. It's possible, but I don't believe we've seen the Chaos Invasion. And when they come down, it's gonna be a big deal. I mean, we've been dealing with the Norskins and, you know, other forces of disorder like the Beastmen for a while. But usually you expect to see the Chaos Invasion before now, and we're actually catching up to the dwarves in terms of power. Well, that's a troop-based army, like a marching army. The Wood Elves we do outmatch, but it's not really a big deal at the moment. We could try to make peace with them, which would be great. And there's Norscan coming down the coast, so with any luck, our army stack can get back to Corone before they get there. Alright, so what do the High Elves want? Yes, we will take a military alliance and the Grand. Let's see what the rest of this happens. I don't know why it's stalled out like this. There we go. Sometimes it stutters, especially later in the game. And now that we've opened up the Elves' view, they have some significant army stacks there. At least 3 generals, and 4th right there. So maybe they're going to go up and take out the Druki that are on their shores. That would be nice to see. They have a lot of heroes. Most definitely stronger than we are right now, but now that we are military allies, we're okay with it. There's Hexwild. They have a lot of skinks in there. Skink heroes, chieftains, and priests. No idea what Nagaron's going to do. I think Malekith might pull back, or is he going to go after Elysia? I think by attacking Torashare, we kind of kicked off a little bit of a scuffle up there. Sorry to our elven allies, but couldn't just do nothing. We had an army stack that was literally doing nothing. So we gotta strike out. The undead are fighting one another. One thing that they never cover in the fluff for Warhammer Fantasy is the effects on skeletons. I know in certain other fantasies, once you destroy a skeleton after it's been raised, you can't raise it again, because the energy's inside the spirit or the bones or whatever. They just can't be reanimated a second time, but they don't touch on that too much. And we're now at war with the Troll Skulls. It's going to hurt the Empire a bit. So we'll see what they end up doing. Why would it go to March stance?
Britonia flowers in true splendor. Tales shall be told.
Alright, so we did get the Errantry War, and now we've got to get 1600 Chivalry, which would be good. So Lord Grimaldus, we're going to have you go all the way forward.
Valiant lord.
Then we'll have Phoenix come up and join you. But by doing that, we were actually able to get a fair amount of coin. So Adodon, we're going to get you to go to sea again. Theobald, we'll see if you can assassinate one of these guys.
None shall see me.
Alright, so that helps out. Now, Corona's pretty much as maxed out as we can make it. We don't have the Carpenter's Workshop yet. And we don't have the tap room. And we don't know where that Norscan army is. So, where is Lord Muffin?
The lady be upon you. Sallying forth.
Get you to head back. Lioness doesn't get anything spectacular in its build menu, but Bordelot does. So let's upgrade Bordelot. We have to get it to rank 5, of course, before we get to the really cool stuff. And do we have the Chapel of the Fey Enchantress? We do. But by upgrading this city as well, we can kind of sort of stretch things out a little bit. And Thibault, we've already got maxed out on Assassinate, so we'll make him hard to hit. That's pretty much all he's going to do is sit there and do that. Down towards Iron Rock. We can upgrade our Iron Mine.
Yes.
And put Lord Eddie into a normal stance so that he can start regenerating troops once he gets there. And Furix, we can actually bring you back just to keep an eye on what's going on over here.
Retake the realm.
Thorium did a bunch of damage there. We don't have a military alliance with the dwarves yet, which kind of sucks. But it's just something we'll have to deal with.
The goddess forbids it.
Now we don't know, well, that's got to be Malekith in an ambush stance right there. There's nothing we can do about that. Then our next turn, we'll be able to strike out against Tilea. So let's just hand it off to the other nations and see what's going to happen. The Empire and the High Elves have so much to do. Dwarves, not so much, but they still have a fairly significant army, fairly significant force. So many great swords, so many demigryphs, so many rocket batteries. Not a big fan of the rocket batteries, but the Hellblaster volley guns are awesome. Granted, when you have that many rocket batteries all stacked up in an army, I think it's Balthazar Gelt who has like 4 of them. You can't really miss when you have 4 rocket batteries. Well, you miss a bunch, but saturation fire, you're bound to hit something. And there's the Slayer King. He's got all 3 of his epics. Ooh, is Thogrim going to go in and... Yeah, he's going to go in and destroy the army stack. There's another Orc army down. I wonder if they're going to siege Karak Azul. It'd be nice if they did. Oh, that's Wurzag, and he's almost dead. Be really easy to get a trait for defeating him. The Norskins are probably going to land on our shores. That's a handmaiden. came out with the Queen and the Crone. I'm glad they put the Handmaidens and the Sisters of Avalorn in. It was... Whoa, that's a lot of Phoenix Guard. That is an awful lot of Phoenix Guard, and there's Teclis. But the Sisters of Avalorn and the Handmaidens, they're a big part of the fluff. I mean, they guard the Gaian Vale, and they're sent out when the Everqueen needs them. They are supreme warriors. All-female order. Basically, they're part of the forest itself. It's kind of cool to see. I'm glad they got included. Still kind of choked that we don't have any Ogre Kingdoms or Chaos Dwarves. I just want to see Snotlings in the game. They're greenskins that even goblins can bully around because goblins are bigger. But they're so zany and funny and... Oh, well, they're called Noblars in this, I guess. But either way, they're silly as all hell, and they're awesome. It's funny watching their contraptions blow up on the tabletop, or just reading the stories about them in some of the fluff. It's funny. Given the fact that they're the smallest greenskin and they work for the largest physical race, aside from the dragon ogres that work for Chaos, and the giants, of course, which would be the Ogre Kingdoms. So the undead are fighting one another still, and Nagaron and Clan Molder, the beast makers, have gone to peace. Wonder what Warg is thinking. He's an orc, so probably not much. Alright, so Lord Grimaldus... It's kind of amazing that we are the 5th strongest race and that the Empire so blatantly outpowers us. Let's toss a banner down there and encircle. Because the idea is to keep these two generals fighting and reinforcing one another. Definitely outside our range to fight. It's a decisive victory. Good attacker and crusader. And bold. So that helps us out a fair bit. We don't know what Magrita has in store for us, but it's another city conquered. Lord Eddie, we're going to get you to camp. Lord Adadon, you're going to come home for just a little bit to help deal with these Norskins. That does get us within the boundaries of Corone. And if they try to siege the city, it would be incredibly silly for them. I mean, look at this garrison now. Pegasus Knights, Knights of the Realm, Grail Knights, a lot of peasants. But we want to get him back within the boundaries so that we can get some knights. Now, you do have the Knight's Vow. So that means we can get you a couple of units of Knights of the Realm and a couple of units of Knights Errant this turn.
Of Bretonia.
Thibaults. You can't really do anything to those heroes this turn, so we'll just wait on you. Then on our next turn, we're going to go down to Magrita. Thankfully, there's no corruption down here right now, so we have the time and energy that we need to go down to Magrita, and then possibly to Skavenblight. But it is maxed out on corruption. There's not really a whole lot we can do right now, so we'll just have to let the other nations go and see what they get up to. And forgot to move Furix manually, so there is that. He's just going to keep an eye on the dwarves and what they're doing. I think we'll get the unification of Bretonia for our next research after this, so we can possibly get a alliance going with the dwarves. It'd be really nice to have. That's a lot of great swords. 3, 6, 9, 10 units of great swords. And they're all experienced. That's 8 units of them. 7. As far as I can count, it's just hard when there's so many of the same unit in an army. No, Ungram, go and take the dwarf or the orcish carrack that they still own. Retake it for your ancestors. Because every hit against the orcs right now is good for us. Means that our allies are strengthened. Now this Norscan army is probably going to go to a raiding stance unless it actually sieges Corone. And again, that's a lot of Phoenix Guard. A lot of Phoenix Guard. Still one of my favorite units in the fluff. I actually have a lot of love for the High Elves in general. They're my second favorite race in the entirety of the story. Mostly because of their history, the War of the Three Crowns. It's just a brilliantly told story. And the Phoenix Guard are one of the cooler units in there because they're utterly silent. Magically silent, in fact. They cannot speak at all. Because they know the time and place of their own death, all Phoenix Kings past, present, and future, and, well, if you've gone to the Shrine of Azuran, which is on the little island there, you've seen things that would really alter the future if you spoke about them. So you can't say anything. It's a neat little piece of the fluff. So they go to battle utterly fearless because they already know when and how they're going to die. It'd be nice to see a Warhammer fantasy game set during the rise of Sigmar and the rise of Gilles Le Breton. Kind of cool. All of Bretonnia would be overrun by orcs. So would most of the Empire. The elves and the dwarves would be having the War of the Beard. Yeah, general note. If you really, really want to annoy the dwarves, shave their ambassadors' beards off. That'll get you an almost endless grudge within the Damas Kron. The great book of grudges. And it won't work out well for you. Alright, so we know about the raiding. Okay, Triller's peasant had the sibling all to throw a noble from his horse in retaliation for an apparent slight against his family. He's naturally been hanged by the neck until dead so that nobody else thinks to act rebelliously. Control for all our provinces. So Grimaldus, we're going to get you to move down. And Phoenix is going to follow you. And you guys will go after Magritta. Is there any chance that we can get Lord Adadon in on this fight? Not that we really need him for this fight, but it would definitely help.
For the lion.
And of course, the Norskins just straight up ran. And we'll keep these two together for now. So they outmatched the Norskins. So Manticore, Hunters, Berserkers are pretty tough. They've got a set of champions too, so it's not entirely out of the realm of possible that they could do some major, major damage to us. Let's see if one more turn of waiting has given you great odds of assassinating. It did, but you failed. And we'll have Furic's Assault. Because why not? It's pretty much all we can do right now. It's going to be a lot of build-up for the next little bit here. And we have some room for some infantry. So what we're going to do Get a couple of Foot Squire units for Yogi. He doesn't have the Knight's Vow yet, so yeah, it's going to hurt if we actually put knights into his units. We'll get 4 units of peasants. Then we'll start trying to get some of these shipwrecks. And one more turn on bigger bobbins, which should, in theory, increase our overall income, but you never know. And the Empire is being the Empire. It's kind of disappointing that the Skull Smashers, I think that's the little name for them, decided to declare war on the Empire because they're going to get wiped out now. It's going to make the Empire even stronger. Which is both good and bad for us. So many greatswords now. It's like their best infantry. Ours are the Foot Squires, of course, but I just wish our billmen were a little bit better. Of course, there's a ton of allied heroes going around. We're almost equal with the dwarves as far as strength goes. Hey, that's Bilgar Ironhammer, one of the legendary lords. The High King is kind of booking it away from the orcs right now. Is he going to leave it to the Slayer King to take care of Gazul? That's a really tough hero. So the Wood Elves did something, either integrated a hero or removed a hero from a stack. I think they put a hero into a stack. Enthal and Teclis is moving up north. That's a lot of silver helms too. They don't have shields, but there's still a lot of cavalry right there. Wondering if Teclis is going to try to take Torres Share, if Malekith's going to actually surprise him, get his ambush off, and hurt our elven allies. We'll have to send Adadon up to the north. It does look like Hexoatl is doing okay in the New World, so we don't have to worry about them too much. And there's the Everqueen herself, Alariel the Radiant. Well, we're technically not at war with Clan Moors just yet. They'd be a viable target, because all of that grayed out land in the southeast there is probably Ratman territory. Yeah, we'll take a trade agreement with you. It actually helps them when they construct certain things. But trade for us right now is not a big deal. We're going to focus on taking out other things. The Wood Elves took a city down here. The Vaults. Alright, so that adds a little bit of depth to Tilea's strategy to hold on to the south. But if our guys can beat that army, then we're in a good place. I'm wondering if he's going to try and swing that army back around. And they have a second army stack there. So we're probably going to have to pull back just a little bit. Well, it looks like the Bray herds have come again, so we've got Beastmen armies running about. We may end up having to send the king down there after all. Make a little bit of a somewhat good pact with the Wood Elves, because we do have the Forest Edge Decree, which is automatically going to make everything we do with them a little bit weaker. But let's grab the Unification of Bretonnia.
Blessings of the
One more
Lady
turn there. So let's see what we can see about these army stacks. That's a lot of handgunners. Yeah, that's a immensely ranged army.
Guardian,
So what we're going to do is we're going to fall back towards Bibali for just a little while.
of the realm.
No, I don't want you to join with Grimaldus. I want you to just be in range there. It's a bit of a gamble, but we're going to have to do it. We're going to send the king down to the south.
I have seen your heart.
And Dame Yelena... that should take us up to 70, so we should be okay.
Honor before glory. Blessings of the lady be upon you.
Muffin, we're going to get you
My
close.
strength and wisdom are yours.
And then Adadon's going to come in and strike. I don't think that'll allow us to fight the
No.
Norsemen straight up.
Onward.
But we could get a fight out of this, so we'll see how it works out.
He wills it.
Should be in range. Ooh, it's a little bit outside the range that we normally do, but we haven't had a good fight in a while. So let's go in and actually fight this one out. That Manticore is the only real problem. They do have some skin wolves, but it's the Manticore and their Raider Regiment of Renown that we have to worry about. Everything else we can deal with our cavalry. Especially with our cavalry. And we're going to have a lot of reinforcements, so we're just going to make this one giant group. Set them up front. Be happy with that. Set a peasant bowman we're going to set up here. Now we should split the Knights of the Realm and the Knights Errant up a little bit, but we're going to be having a lot more come in. So, we're going to set it up for flank charges with our cavalry. Put Lord Adadon in the dead center. We're just going to pause real quick. Get our Knights Errant ready to go. And our Knights of the Realm can move up. We'll see what they're going to do. It's the Manticore that worries me. So Lord Muffin, you can come in. Get our extra archers up. Get these Knights of the Realm over onto this side in case the Manticore goes over there. Get these Knight Errant over here with our Knights of the Realm to try and balance things out. Try to set everything up nice and neat.
Peasant bowman. What do you bid? Knights errant.
Alright, so let's get some charges set up here. It's not exactly over open ground right now. Wherever that Manticore lands is where I want Adadon to go. So let's send him after the Marauder Chieftain. Or he could go after the Manticore that's come over to attack him. So I have this unit of Knights of the Realm charge in there, and this one go after the remnants of enemy cavalry, or the enemy infantry that's over there. Let's add this set of Knights of the Realm in there, and this one in there. Looks like one unit of our men-at-arms with shields is kind of broken down a little bit.
Show chivalry, men! Oh, nice!
Here's something's kind of going screw with my mouse a little bit.
Cut them down! They battle without
Aided on. Pop your health potion.
We serve the king.
That pretty much does it right there. Not a bad little fight. We lost a lot of peasants, but they lost an awful lot of troops. And since they'd already retreated once, that's going to wipe that force out, and hopefully Aidedon got a skill point off of it. Of course, we're going to execute the captives.
going forth.
And Aidedon got Crusader and Ruin's End, so leadership when he's fighting against Chaos and
Strength and
Norsca.
wisdom are yours.
And we could get basic training. But I think we're going to go with full plate armor, just because, well, he doesn't have any personal survival skills just yet. And we'll pull these guys back and get them to kind of stack up. Sir Arimon is going to get full plate armor. He's in Eddie's army, of course. See if there's any viable assassination targets here. Furix.
Destroy the faithless.
Quinnell's going to keep bugging us until we upgrade it, so let's just do that now. We're going to make 3 grand on our next turn. By then, Lord Yogi's forces will be ready to go. But that's probably a good place to end it for this week, guys, especially since we've got some major fights coming up down here with Tilea. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, be part of this or other Let's Plays, just hit that subscribe button, and make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes out. And remember, guys, life is a game, so play to win. And until next time, take care.